that's achieved, that's what I want. And as I say, before the end of the season, we've got to try and have some sort of clear path forward with a clear ownership group.
We'll move on, Keith, to talk about Nottingham Forest. Now, their appeal also is scheduled to finish by May 24th. Now, do you think it's expected to be handled before the end of the season, same as Everton? Are we expecting them to kind of get it over the line over the next few weeks? Or actually, again, could it be quite touch and go until that deadline?
No, I think the timetable that was there before would have had it done, I think, the week before the end of the season. So I think that will be okay to get that done. I don't know the grounds that Forest are appealing, probably around the Brennan Johnson transaction is what I'm thinking. But we'll see how that argument develops. But I think they should get that one done in a sensible, reasonable period of time and still manage to get it done before the end of the season.
I mean, from a football point of view, Keith, are you quite relieved now knowing that we won't have to be worrying post-season whether teams are staying up or going down?
Well, as I said right at the start, if there's such a rush on this particular appeal from Everton, does that mean it's going to be finished? I suppose it'll depend how happy they are with the outcome. But yes, I mean, of course, from a sporting integrity point of view, I really couldn't see how you could go on the last day of the season and not have a proper points tally that you could count on and have an asterisk or 2 or 3 asterisks even on there. It's just unthinkable for the best league in the world. So I'm pleased that we're trying to head that through. I just want to be sure that they do it properly and allow due process to happen with the appeals.
And what is your prediction for Forest? Are we expecting to win the appeal? And if so, how many points do you think they'll get back potentially?
I think I think it's going to stay as it is. I think it's going to be a bit of a stalemate. I think the points will stay. I don't see their arguments being strong enough to get either 1 point back or anything else. But again, it'll open up another 50-page situation where there'll be more different loopholes or different legal points disagreeing with previous commissions. So all it will do is start to build this cottage industry now of lawyers who can appeal and are now getting more and more precedents to argue. So that's what I think will end up with. The points will stay the same.
Is it feeling quite monotonous, Keith, that every week it's talking about lawyers and cases rather than football on pitch? And actually, how going forward to next season, what should the Premier League do to resolve this so that actually it's not discussed on paper, it actually is down to results on pitch?
It's incredibly monotonous. I hate it, and I know all my friends and all the people I speak to and all the social media fans. Everybody's fed up with it. This is not what we should be speaking about. I mean, we should be speaking about great goals from Palmer last night, those sort of things. We should still be enjoying the love of the football. And so, what can they do? Well, the way forward seems to be what seems to have been agreed is that they will, at the summer meeting, adopt the UEFA model. I don't necessarily think that's the answer. And I think they've got to find a way that points deductions can be either suspended or some other way, transfer embargoes used more. I think it's got to be much more of a last resort before we get there. And so the way that the penalties are happening under the new system must be fully reviewed. But I'm not convinced by this UEFA system as well of PSR, because PSR is supposed to be about sustainability of clubs rather than who's going to be the cleverest about accounting.
And regardless of their appeal, Keith, do you expect them to stay up? I mean, some people were jokingly on social media calling the game versus Everton the deduction derby because of all the controversies off the field. I'm sure you're well aware of that. How do you think that game could play into that? And actually, are Evertonians will there be a bit of unity in that game given the situation of both clubs?
Yeah, I think there will be. I think there is probably going to be an anti-Premier League banner protest of some description. I think there'll be the booing of the Premier League anthem. And that's going to be seen on global TV again. So I know the Premier League don't like it, but it's the way the fans feel, and I think with a lot of sympathy for how they do feel, because it's taken away victories, points off the table, and for no reason to do with performance on the pitch. So there's got to be a way found to get around this and to try and stop this chaos that's happened this year.